All right, our next hero, who also has 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 3 minutes to talk, is Vikki Goodwin. Vikki, running for Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you. Wow, that was so kind. I'm so glad to be here in my home district. Y'all remember in 2018, I ran against Paul Workman. At the time, a lot of people said, yeah, we don't know if you can do it. And, you know, I have to say, every once in a while, I get that again right now, but I don't know. What do y'all think about Dan Patrick? What do y'all think? Is it time for change? All right. I think it's time for change. And one of my passions is public education, which Dan Patrick does not care about. He just cares that we get the 10 Commandments on every classroom wall. I care that we have classrooms and we pay our teachers well. And so I want to stop really briefly and give a shout out to our school board members, Jonathan Hove, Lauren White, and any other school board members in the room. Thank you for what you do. I also want to give a really quick shout out to Herb Krasner, who has taken a lot of time out of his life the last year or two, educating people about what vouchers will do to our public schools. And continuing, he came to the Capitol over and over, as Pooja Sethi can attest, came into my office and went to testify. And it's not easy taking time out of your day to come before the legislature and testify. And he's just continued the work with his charts, with his data. Those 8 reams of paper show you how large the Texas Education Code is. Those are all the requirements that we put on our teachers in our schools, and we underfund them. And then he has a couple of pages, which is what we have, the requirements that we have for our private schools. Completely unfair. So anyway, public education, my passion, but healthcare these days. So my daughter is getting ready to turn 26 in about a month, and so she will finally have to go off my insurance. Woo. But she's a young person, she is a small business owner, and she says, Mom, I can't afford it. And too many people slip through the cracks. As small business owners, maybe they can't afford it. Maybe their income doesn't allow them. Maybe they're in a state that hasn't expanded Medicaid. Maybe they're in a state that just doesn't seem to care if you're able to go see a primary care doctor and take care of yourself early on so that you don't end up in the emergency room. So we have a lot to do around healthcare. Water, of course, I represent parts of Lake Travis. Y'all know it had been very low for a while, but thank goodness the July 4th floods refilled the lake. But guess what? It won't stay full forever. We're heading into some really hot, dry weather right now. We need leadership that not only pays attention, but thinks about the policy in a way that isn't going to cost you and me and every other homeowner higher charges for water in our homes. And I recently went to Corpus Christi, where the city council turned down a desalination plant. The governor actually had one of his staff members reach out to one of the city council members and tell her she better vote for the desal plant or he would remove funding. And that is the way that the governor and lieutenant governor currently wield power in this state. They will threaten cities and counties and universities. If you do this thing that we don't agree with, we're going to strip you of funding. And they've already done it from our schools. And it will only continue to get worse. And then housing affordability. That's a huge issue. It was recognized as both the governor and lieutenant governor as a huge issue this session. But rather than giving some consideration to the bills that I had, which would have put downward pressure on rent prices and would have expanded a program called Texas Homes for Heroes, instead they passed a sales tax exemption on exotic game. So we need a change so badly. But how are we going to do it? So I want to tell you about a program that we just started on my team, and it's called social banking. But you don't have to come to one of our events to do this. So I like acronyms, and the acronym that we've come up with is FLOCS. So what does that mean? Follow. I don't care what platform you're on. I think I'm on them all. So follow me on whatever platform you use on social media. Who here is on social media? Okay, a lot of you, not everybody. If you're not on social media, it doesn't mean that you can't share things. So I have been interviewed on CBS News. I was actually just interviewed on Fox News last night, but I like the CBS News interview better. But you can go out there online, Google it, find it, and maybe text it to a friend. It's very short, 3 minutes, but share information with your friends. So follow, like often, because the more you like somebody's social media, the more it gets sent out. It's good for the algorithms, they say. Comment and share. So this will be helpful. You know, there's Representative James Tallarico with 1 million followers and me with about 1,000, I don't know. So y'all need to help me out here, okay? All right. So the social media is really big these days. So many people get their information from social media. But we're going to do all the traditional things. We are going to do phone banking and block walking. And I am doing a lot of traveling these days. After I got back from quorum break, I have been all around the state, and we're getting ready to do a South Texas tour. Now, I know oftentimes people know people in other parts of the state, whether they are extended family, whether they are people you went to school with, whatever. If you know people in other parts of the state, help me connect with them. So next week, I am going to Brownsville, McAllen, Eagle Pass, Laredo, Uvalde, and Del Rio. So it's going to be a really fun trip. And then at the end of it, October 5th, I will be having a fundraiser to tell people about how it went, how things are going on the campaign trail. You know, we can do this in 2026. What do y'all think? Yeah. You heard from our fearless leaders here, our state party chair and our county party chair, and this is happening all around the state. People are coming out of the woodwork, just like they did in 2018, going, oh my God, what's going on in this world? We've got to do something. So all they need is that nudge. All they need is information about the candidates. So please remember to tell all your friends that we need a good win for Texas. So Vikki Goodwin, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Vikki.